Good morning, everybody. This is Tim Ayler, meteorologist. Hope you're all doing well. And for current conditions, we got some cold temps up here in the northeast, and they'll push out of the way to the north here in the next couple of days. Snow and some sleet and freezing rain on the northern edge of the system as it moves through today and up to the northeast in the next couple of days. So in today's forecast, we're going to talk about the short term, the severe threat and excessive rainfall threat this week, the warm up east of the Rockies, of course. Go over the long term forecast and talk about any other hazards that might accompany that. So I appreciate you all watching today. Like my video if you like it. Subscribe, share with your friends, leave any comments in the comments below. And we'll get started as always with current hazards. So as far as current hazards, we have some winter weather advisories where these in the purple here, where this system I showed you we started out on the radar. Going back to this, we can bring that back up here. That's system moving through, right? So go back to this. And we have a winter storm warning also in the higher terrain of the Appalachians here and parts of Virginia, West Virginia, and Maryland, and parts of central Pennsylvania here as well. Red flag warnings into New Mexico and Colorado this morning. Some wind advisories in Arizona and California as well today. And some dense fog advisories on the east coast, the southeast coast of Florida, Georgia, and parts of South Carolina. So through the week, temperatures are going to warm up here in Georgia, potentially reaching record highs sometime Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with isolated showers and storms coming into the area during that period, especially towards the end of the week into the weekend. Okay, so you can see the highs here and the actual forecast temperatures, right? So going to be very close to getting record highs here. And this early March 4th will continue through the 6th through the 11th. Well, the 7th through the 11th here. Right? This was updated yesterday, of course, but you see the above normal temperature outlook along the eastern part of the U.S. here. So you can take this to the bank, at least right now, that it's going to be warmer than average through the 11th, right? So let's look at the 15-day temperature outlook here. So you see the 15-day temperature outlook showing good agreement in the model, European ensemble, 70s and 80s through the 11th and 12th, and then dropping down to near normal temperatures for highs and lows as we get towards the middle part of the month. With not a lot of certainty this far out, but that's it looks like more normal temperatures as we get towards the middle of the month here, like I said. So as far as day 3 to 7 hazards, we'll talk about this. You know, we have the heavy rainfall potential, the 6th to the 8th and the 4th here, and we have the severe weather threat as well, outlined on this outlook, the 4th and the 6th. Heavy precip possible on the northwest coast, as well as high winds up here in Montana. And hazardous cold maybe here in Alaska, and high winds as well. The hazardous cold the 4th through the 5th, and high winds the 6th through the 8th. As far as the 8 to 14-day outlook, you got a moderate risk and a slight risk in a larger area of heavy precip the 9th through the 12th. So the beginning of the middle of March here, we still have pretty high chances of heavy rainfall. So we're going to have to see how this plays out in the coming days. As far as snowfall goes, slight risk of heavy snow up here in the parts of Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. Wind, we have a slight risk of high winds for a good portion of the nation, with the exception of the central U.S. here. You see this dotted area here. So quite an active pattern in both areas, as well as a slight risk down here in southern Alaska. No hazardous temperatures expected in the lower 48, with the exception of Alaska, which isn't in the lower 48, of course. Slight risk the 9th through the 12th. As far as excessive rainfall, we got the increasing risk for heavy rain here, marginal risk here in parts of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and West Virginia. as that moisture moves to the north. You can see where it is right now, um, and that will continue um, with renewed vigor tomorrow as well. So this is for tomorrow, though. See day 2. All right, so take that off. Day 3, we got this threat generally from northwestern Texas, northeastern Texas here, southeastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, most of central and southeastern Missouri, southeastern Illinois, and southwest Indiana here. So marginal risk of excessive rainfall here. And then for day 4, which is, let's see, day 3, this is Wednesday, right? Day 2, Tuesday. Day 3, Wednesday. Day 4, Thursday. Day 5, we got another excessive rainfall risk, generally over the same area, but a little farther to the west here, and a smaller area. So parts of southwestern Missouri, south central Missouri, western Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, and northeast Texas. So now, both of these areas that we're talking about in general for Wednesday and Friday are focused nearby with severe threats as well. As far as severe weather, there's no threat on the map for today. Although we got a chance for thunderstorms in the Intermountain West here, right, and central U.S., southern Florida, and right off the North Carolina coastline. Tomorrow, we have a marginal threat here, generally from Lawton, Oklahoma, and an arc up to Mound City, Kansas here, and points surrounding this. Right, this is a hail threat with some steep lapse rates aloft here. So no tornado or wind threat, just a hail threat here. 5% hail risk. Going into day 3, which is Wednesday, we have our severe threat here. Slight risk generally from Waco, Texas, all the way up towards Mountain Home, Arkansas, parts of southeast Oklahoma, and surrounding areas here, and a large marginal risk here, going all the way down to central Texas, central Missouri, central Arkansas, central Illinois, into southern Illinois, parts of Indiana, and Ohio, with larger thunderstorm risk here as well. Thunderstorm risk along the west coast and in the southeast here, southern Florida. So we go further out here, go to day 4, which is generally the same area, so it hasn't been updated yet here. Okay, so go to day 6. We have another 15% slight risk. This is Friday, from northeastern Texas, parts of central and eastern Oklahoma, eastern Arkansas, eastern Kansas, western Arkansas, northwestern Arkansas, parts of Missouri here as well. So a lot going on severe weather-wise as well, and no other threats, at least on the map right now. This could change as we get closer, but that's what's on the books for right now for severe weather. As far as the short term, what do we got going on? Well, let's start off the forecast here. We got some rainfall going on in Tennessee, Missouri, and Kentucky this morning, with some freezing rain and sleet here in between. Some snow to the north here, and some precip ongoing out west here, depending on where you're at on the higher terrain, the mountainous terrain here in parts of Wyoming as well. And our focus will be on this system here right now in the east. As this moves to the east here, we got some overrunning moisture here with cold enough temps at the surface to bring snowfall here, maybe some heavy bursts of snow as this moves through. And that wave moves offshore. Then you get a push of moisture to the north here, okay? Out west, we got Intermountain West ongoing snow and rainfall here, right? And you have on the back end of that system on Tuesday, some moisture here and some moisture up to the north, even some rainfall up here up north. All right, back to this system in the east. System moved to the north, maybe some freezing rain here as well, and some snow right on the northern side, but not a lot, at least according to this model. The snow tries to hang on with this cold air in place, and eventually the cold air gets pushed out as the system sweeps through, right? And then we have this other system moving on its heels. So, yeah, this is March 4th, right? And this is where your heavy rainfall could be, generally in this area here, right? And up to the north here. So, out west, we got snow again in the higher elevations here. As another system pushes on shore here, unsettled weather along the west coast on the northwest coastline here. So for Wednesday, this is where our severe weather threat is, generally up in this area here, right? So you remember our drawing here, our severe weather threat is generally, or if I remember right, in this area, okay? And this is also where our heavy rainfall threat is, up into this area. So um, we'll see how this plays out. I'm not that bullish on the severe weather for this area, but we'll see what that looks like here. But first, let's go over the precip amounts here. So you can see why we have this flooding risk here. This is precipitable water values as we move through this period, right? This just shows the amount of moisture that's available in the atmosphere, right? So 1 to 1 1/4 inches of PWATs here, even higher in these areas. So that's why we have our day 2 and 3. Let's take this off. Tomorrow, the heavy rainfall here, and also the heavy rainfall potential marginal risk in this area, right? And if you look at our severe threat, we look for that as well here. That's where your severe threat is. So you see what I'm talking about here. So um, we got a multifaceted threat upcoming here in the coming days. So as we get into Monday, Sunday into Monday, highest temps on Monday are going to be really in the desert southwest here, okay? Even into the southeast, 70s, even along the front range of the Rockies, 60s here. Texas, south, pointing south. Cool in the northeast, but not overly cold, right? Near freezing. You got this CAD wedge pushing down here. You can see where it's exerting its influence. All right, this is Tuesday. Then warm temps eventually went out here, although the CAD wedge holds on here in the southeast. You can see the warm temps pushing up a tunnel of warm temps all the way up here where this boundary is, right? 60s all the way up in the Mississippi Valley here. And right along this boundary here is where we're talking about our potential severe weather threat. And we see moisture or temperature is already warming up behind this as well. So that may be due to orographic warming from winds over the Rockies. But either way, quite warm, warming up in the northeast as well, above freezing here going into the middle part of the week. When we get into temperatures for the extended, the 6 to 14 day temperature outlook, warm temps persist in the eastern seaboard all the way back to the central U.S. and near normal to above on the west coast here as well. And this trend pushes further to the east. Let's see near normal temps to maybe below up here in the extreme northern tier of the U.S. and above in the desert southwest, right? Go back. We got below normal temps looking like a certainty here in Alaska. Hawaii above and Aleutian Island to near normal to below as well. And this trend continues here as well for Alaska, below normal temps, near normal to below in Aleutian Island and above in the Hawaiian Island chain as well. So as far as precip goes, we have been talking about this quite a bit. The above normal precip chances in the south central U.S., the deep south, all the way up into the Midwest here, near normal to the east, below normal out west here as well. We move a bit further on here to the 8 to 14 day period. Above normal precip chances swing further to the east, and we maintain a little bit above normal precip chances up in the northern tier of the U.S. Out west, still below here. So drying out quite a bit here. Now we switch back to the 6 to 10 day. We got below to near normal to above in Alaska, Aleutian Island chain as well, and above in the Hawaiian Island chain. And then we go a bit further out in the 8 to 14 day period, about the same, below near normal to above in Alaska, above in Hawaii, and near normal in Aleutian Island chain as well. As far as the long range, going into the long range anyway, we start off on Wednesday, March 4th here. We got our short wave moving through the flow here. This is our severe weather threat going from Tuesday into Wednesday. We got our ascent here, maybe with this hail threat on Tuesday, right? Then the short wave moves through here with cold front. And so this is where our severe threat is on Wednesday, right? That short wave moves to the north. We have another low pressure, 500 millibar mid-level low moving through the flow. And yesterday the GFS wanted to cut this off and throw it back, but now it's more progressive here, moving this through, right? Although it kind of gets strung out initially, and then digs it further to the south, almost cut off from the flow, but manages to eject here to the east. This is Monday into Tuesday. If this happens and moves this way, then we could have a severe weather threat here. All right. What does the European show at this range? European has the low out west here. This is Monday, March 9th. So it has quite a different solution with this. Okay. Let's go back to the GFS. GFS has it here. European has it here. What's the AI model show here? It doesn't have it. Okay, well, let's see what AI does with it. It ends up moving it through as well. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you can see it move through the flow here. Let's do the 500 height anomaly here. You can see it better. Cuts it off initially. Moves it through Monday into Tuesday and ejects. And then we get a deeper trough moving to the east here. And more of a northwest type flow, although we get returned to a southerly flow again here pretty quickly. But then the AI model wants to really develop another trough here along the eastern seaboard. So going back to the GFS, let's see if the GFS shows this range. Not nearly the same solution. Another cutoff low out here, out west, which comes in from a different direction here. Let's see what the 6Z does. We only have 18 hours. So, yeah, so Friday, March 6th, that cutoff low ejects to the east here and up into the mean trough. All right. So then we go back. I'm replaying this. The Euro wants to keep this cutoff low out there. Finally, maybe ejects it. I guess this is still running. So we'll come back to this a little while here and see what it says. But first, we're going to go over the sensible impacts from the different global models here. Here's our European model showing the heavy rain potential and severe weather in this area here in the Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley. Some enhanced moisture in the front range of the Rockies. Low pressure gets going again here, and we have our severe threat again Friday into Saturday here, right? We got a strung out boundary setting up here with multiple rounds of precip all on that boundary, right? We get further out in time. The European wants to bring a system way up to the north here, okay? Now what's the GFS want to do with this? Let's take a look here. starting Wednesday. Thursday, we got our severe weather and heavy rainfall here. Okay, that moves to the north. Another system into Friday, moving through this area here. All right, moving to the north. Repeated rounds of heavy precip here as well. Okay, you can see I'm talking about that training, and then it wants to sweep this low through. If this happens, we could definitely have a severe weather threat here. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. Another low up to the north here with the mean 500 millibar trough swinging through. Wants to really develop a system up here in the Midwest. Heavy snow and maybe some freezing precip on the western side with a cold push of air, colder air to the west of this, diving to the south. Then it clears out, right? And then we get further out, it becomes more uncertain. So you see the mean trough with repeated pushes of cold air in the central and western U.S. with high pressure to the east here, exerting its influence once again. So yeah, so very active pattern here. So what are the what's the moisture going to look like these ice accumulation, snow, things like that? We'll go over that next. As far as the snowfall totals in the short range and extended, the highest totals will be out west here, and with the system moving through the mid-Atlantic here, maybe an inch or two in the higher terrain here, Maryland, West Virginia, in those areas, but overall not very heavy amounts. Heaviest amounts, of course, out west up here into Canada, especially in northwestern Canada, right? Now, to get further on here, we got some more enhanced moisture over the higher terrain out west. And with colder air starting to push down here out west, we may get some enhancement here, especially on the northwestern side. If that system ends up moving up to the north here, like we showed on one of the models, we could get some enhanced snowfall in those areas as well. As far as ice totals in the short term through the extended, highest ice amounts are generally in the Ohio Valley into the mid-Atlantic, the higher terrain here of the Appalachians, moving to the north. And then we don't have a lot going on in the mid-range, but then we get some enhancement on the back side of these systems, maybe some colder air on the western side here. It's a Saturday. Okay, move along further with this, and maybe some more ice if a system moves through to the north here as well. We kind of talked about that with the GFS. That's pretty far out, so we have today's the 2nd, so that's 11 days from now, so a lot can change between now and then. So this is a good graphic. It shows the probabilities of precip being over 1 inch, and you can see the first 72 hours where the highest probabilities are, near 100% in the red areas here. So move this forward. Okay, that's where your bullseye is here, and then to Saturday, you see it moves further to the east here. If we go to greater than 2 inches probabilities within this period, you still have a pretty good prospect of this in isolated areas here. So going back to 1 inch. All right, we're going to move this forward a little more. Moves further to the south and east. And you see where this ends up setting up here. And then moves further to the east as we get towards the extended. So let's go back with this a little bit. Go back to 2 inches here. So now let's go to the totals for the whole thing, right? If you bear with me here, sorry guys. Surface and precip, QPF total. So this is the total through the end of the model run. According to national blended models, the highest amounts are going to be in northeastern Texas, right? Parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and points to the north in the Ohio Valley as well. But a large area of 3 or 4 inches of rain through this period. So we definitely could have some flooding concerns in the long term here. If we get even further out here, this is the 14th through the 27th. This was issued February 27th, which was 2 days ago. Week to 3 to 4 temperature outlook here. Below normal still predicted in Alaska. Most of the U.S. either equal or above chances. Well, you have equal chances above and below temperatures in the white. The red and orange, more certainty depending on if it's in the red, right? Orange is less certainty here, or the darker orange, excuse me. Northwest U.S. maybe below. Alaska, right? We talked about that. Above in Hawaii, right? And so we move into the temperature, the precip, excuse me. Getting ahead of myself here. Looks like we still have a very active pattern continuing here in the Mississippi Valley up into the northern tier of the U.S. with equal chances in the white here and below in the southeast coast and the Florida, equal to below to above, depending where you're at in Alaska, above in Hawaii. So that's it for the precip for the 3 to 4 week outlook. Well, if we get even further out, the monthly temperature outlook is looking pretty grim if you like cold weather. So either for most of the U.S. looking to be above normal, all right? With less certainty further north here in Alaska, if it stays below normal, chances are this will turn out the way this shows, right? So we'll keep an eye on that, all right? As far as precip, you see for the month of March, where the bullseye is here, pretty good confidence of above normal precip in the Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley here. Equal chances in the white on the western, southern, and eastern edge of this, below out west, and below the Florida Peninsula, parts of the southeast. Equal to below to above in Alaska here. In closing, I wanted to thank y'all for watching today, and be safe out there this week. There's going to be a lot going on, and I'll try to keep you updated as much as possible on social media, things like that. So again, have a good day. We'll see y'all tomorrow, and God bless.